Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. It is your favorite dark sorcerer here, Angelus, son of Abaddon. And today, I want to talk to you a little bit about rituals and apotheosis. Now, what does rituals have to do with apotheosis? Basically, your own wisdom, wisdom, knowledge, the hidden aspects of knowledge and all that goes along with it. How do these two play hand in hand? Well, let me ask you this. Have you ever needed something to happen that you just weren't sure how to go about doing it? Okay. How do you go about doing something and getting those doors, those floodgates to just open up, to gain the insight and the wisdom needed to deal with, say, a company from another country, or perhaps something going on in your own backyard? How do you go about doing this? Well, one of the things that I would recommend doing is communing with spirits. Go in, light the candles, the incense, draw the seals, the circles, whatever you normally would do or that feels right for you. Because keep in mind, there is no right way or a wrong way to commune with deities. It comes down to how you want to do it, either invocation or invocation. Okay? Invocation is bringing them forth into your inner sanctum. Evocation is bringing them into yourself. There's a lot of gnosis that comes from doing this. When I do cartomancy, I always call on the spirits for their wisdom. When I shuffle a deck of tarot cards, aka cartomancy, I always ask them to speak their truth, to share their wisdom, to deliver the message that needs to be heard, either from me personally or that of the client that I am doing the reading for. The same is done in the ritual chamber. So you'd want to do what you normally do. You want to let them have their way so that they have numerous different options to commune with you, to answer your questions. Most importantly, you want to open yourself up to them, either them directly or some spirit that is underneath them. For an example, most of the goetic demons have spirits and ministering spirits who they rule over. These lords, these princes, these marquis, these dukes, the kings, they all have these ministering spirits that they can send forth. They will share the same insight, the same level of insight and acuity that will help benefit you in the long run through either visions. Maybe you see images, seals, glyphs, perhaps even numbers. Or perhaps they'll speak to you in some other way. For an example, earlier tonight I was communing about an account that we had went forth and literally spoke to the owners of the site. Okay, we as the site holders, okay, it was our account, but we went to the manufacturer and said that this account got hacked. Now we have to wait 180 days. How do you make that 180 days shorter? How do you get them to release those funds? Or perhaps, how do you get them to activate that account so that you can utilize it again? Okay? Just out of an example. So, went in, lit the candles, lit the incense, lit the charcoal, sat there for just a few minutes, Indian style in my chair, worked on the breathing, lowering the heart rate, getting in tune with the current, started calling on the spirits, petitioning the spirits, asking for their guidance, their wisdom. How do I go about doing this? How do you work this type of magic? How would you suggest going about doing this? Okay? And furthermore, petition them for their help. Petition these spirits for their help. And then, in return, offering yourself as an apprentice or a sorcerer, a mage, magi, in return for their guidance, their help, their aid in this situation. You see, the apotheosis effect of this is that these spirits can guide you in many different ways. Tonight, the air in my inner sanctum got so thick, I had to take a few puffs off my inhaler. I was amazed at how thick it became so fast. More so, the incense started going at a fast rate. I'm talking the charcoal. Normally, it's a slow drift out of the burn pot. Not tonight. Tonight, it was moving like a bat out of hell. The incense smoke from one stick of incense and four charcoal, just four charcoal, little cubes, about yay big, about maybe 3/4 to an inch tall in diameter, in a small little burn pot. The incense stick, lavender. Two things associated with necromancy: death, working with spirits. The upper atmosphere of the inner sanctum became thick, warm, made your eyes, if you were standing, water, almost irritating. But when you're down low, sitting in a chair, it's like visibility was 100%. So you know that there was a spiritual encounter there. Your request was answered. The way the center candle, the flame would just go nuts. Would just go nuts, which is why it's always good to record your rituals so that you can go back in and watch everything. In this case, the knowledge that you can gain, obviously, they made their presence known. What they had to offer is still yet to be determined. Their wisdom, their knowledge, their insight into the issue at hand, that's still up for debate. But like I said, they have so many different ways of communing with you. So you put the time in, you did the ritual, you spent your time doing the work, doing the research, setting everything up, doing what needed to be done. Your intent was there. Your honesty, your humbleism, all of this plays into effect. You may be your own God, but you are a minor God compared to a massive set of gods that have been around for hundreds of thousands of years. You got to remember that there are numerous different hierarchies out there. There are numerous different types of spirits. And there's numerous different ways that they can commune with you, just as much as you can commune with them, if you're open to it. So by doing the work and being open to what they have to offer, being humble and petitioning them instead of demanding, these spirits are more inclined to help you. In this case, I know they were there. So it's a matter of time to see what they're willing to do and how they're going to do it. You see, you can state your piece. You can state what's on your mind. You can ask them, hey, can you open the doors? Can you bend time and space if that spirit can do that? Maybe make manifest into a bodily form if they can do that. Perhaps you're dealing with a former witch, like say Astaroth or Circe, for an example, who can manifest your reality into physical, or manifest your desire into a physical manifestation. You could even work with, say, Asmodeus, demon of desire and wrath. Let them guide you, let them have their way, and let them open those doors for you so that all you have to do is walk through, if you're willing to walk through. But keep in mind that whatever you petition them for, keep in mind that you may not like what comes out of it. Okay? And what do I mean by that? What I mean by this is this. I've seen people petition spirits. I've seen practitioners, I can't tell you how many times, petition a spirit and then go, "What? This is not what I want. This is not what I asked for." But they got their answer. They got what they asked for. It may not have been, say, for an example, the one that they were hoping for. But over here, something shook free from that proverbial tree. And the right ingredient was dropped in their lap. But some of them can't handle that. Maybe even half of them. There's a Latin term that I want you to remember. Indomus deorum et auseum. It means welcome to the house of golden bones. Okay? Welcome to my inner sanctuary. Welcome to the temple, basically. I welcome you as a brother, as a sister. I welcome you in what you have to offer. And whatever you bring to me, whatever comes out of it, I welcome it with open arms. This is how you keep that relationship strong. This is how you keep that relationship building to new heights. And it keeps those doors open for the spirits to bring more stuff to you a lot easier, maybe even more plentiful gifts, that they can bring to you, especially with things that you petition them for. But you got to be willing to do the work as well. Keep that in mind. The amount of time that you do doing rituals, research, experimentation, if you have specific goals, look at the spirits that you're going to be calling forth. Do they align with what you're doing? And is your work going to benefit them as much as it's going to benefit you? You see, a lot of times you'll find that these spirits want to help you, want to guide you, want to help you ascend to new heights, to greater apotheosis. It would be like going from low witchcraft into high witchcraft, going from average witchcraft into sorcery. Okay? These spirits will guide you, they will help you. The more you utilize them, the more you call upon them, you're building that trust even further. You're manifesting results faster, better, the more you work with them, because you're building that trust, you're building that reputation, and you're building that relationship. And these spirits will thank you for it. More so, you will be worshiping them. One of the biggest things that I found that a lot of adepts today don't do is they don't follow through with repetition. Repetition. Recurring and recurring and recurring. You got to remember that three main things: worship, guidance, and what you can do for them. Offering yourself as a tool, your sorcery, your either as an apprentice or as a sorcerer, a mage, a sage, sorceress. No matter what tradition you're in, repetition is the main and most beneficial tool you can have in your arsenal. It is something that will help you become better. It will bring you closer to Deitas, to the Spiritus, and to the old gods. But you cannot let fear hinder you or stop you. The only person that can become baneful to you and your sorcery is you. Remember that. I see so many people trying to do these elaborate things through rituals. You gotta remember that not everybody is going to be plentiful and beneficial by having a fully decked out altar room. Okay? I got a brother. I respect the guy greatly. He gets results better than most demonologists that I know. His altar rooms would make your mouth water, and it works for him. It literally works for him, but it doesn't mean it's going to work for you. You see, you got to find what works for you. You got to experiment with different setups, different locations, but you got to remember that you don't want natural light to be in your sanctuary. You want unnatural. Candlelight, for an example, is unnatural because it's man-made. It's created. It's not something that occurs naturally. It's a chemical reaction. You can have small altars. You can have big altars. Your dedication and commitment to the spirits can be by offerings, sacrifices even, down to simply spending 5 minutes a day just thanking them, thinking about them, saying, thank you for all you do in my life. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for teaching me. You can light a candle, maybe some incense. This is a type of ritual, okay? This is a ritual that you can do easily. You don't need something elaborate or even small. You see, as you grow, so is your altar. So are the rituals and the knowledge of rituals. The more you dedicate, the more you expand upon your knowledge through the many systems that are out there, the better off you'll be. And you'll come to realize that you don't need a lot of stuff. You're not going to need 50,000 things in a cluttered altar because all it's going to do is hinder you when you do rituals. Apotheosis is enlightenment. It's a way of ascendance to spiritual insight. Think of the term and definition mediumship. What is a medium? Somebody who's spiritually in tune with divinity. It could be demons, it could be jinn, it could be Loa. It's a being that can speak and see the dead. More so, it's also classified as somebody who can sense what others are feeling. Think seer, an empath, a telepath, or even somebody that literally communes with the dead, communes with the spirits, a conjurer. Same exact thing. Well, that's always a good thing. I can tell you that right now. If the spirit replies to you within that form, that means you did something right. When the spirits speak, listen. When they come, open up your arms, open up your altar, open up your home. Let them commune. Let them speak. Let them show you what you can become. This here, an altar, which is a painting, that's the same thing as having a physical altar with statues, with skulls, with a chalice, an athame. Same exact thing. Or perhaps you may want to, have one made out of, say, pewter in a form of, say, a Ouija board, talking board. I know practitioners who have used that as their altar. And the funny thing is, if it works for you, awesome. I give you 2 thumbs up. Okay, 1, but I've got coffee in the other. My point is this. When you do rituals, if it doesn't feel right, don't do it. If it feels right, continue on. And most importantly, if something's not working, seek out what is working and then look at what is not. If it's not if part of that ritual is not working, then you're able to adjust it. Experiment a little bit. Find out what will work and add it to that ritual. You see, through ascendance, through dissension, you're able to determine this. You're able to gain insight into greater magics through rituals, and it will benefit you. That's always a good thing. I use a walk-in closet for mine, and I'm the only one who has access to it. But my point is this. Both rituals and spiritual communion work hand in hand. Don't be afraid to open yourself up to apotheosis through spiritualism. The more you dedicate yourself, the more you get into it, you're going to start taking spiritualism seriously. You're going to start to open up and realize the greater aspects of spiritualism and what you can achieve through spiritualism and ritual. It does not matter if you're going into astral projection, one-omancy, cartomancy. It doesn't matter if you're doing divination or you're just doing invocations and spiritual conjurations. Witchcraft through elemental magic or that of shamanism and herbalism. Necromancy even. You're going to find the greater benefits through spiritual rituals. Think of it as a form of spiritual warfare. You're going to find enemy spirits and you're going to find allied spirits. A lot of times, it's better to listen to those who will guide you to better things and greater things. You'll find a few instances where you're going to get that inkling that something just ain't right. And that is what you want to change. All right? Have a good night. And until next time, enjoy.